I'm gonna talk some books I've read recently, and like most people my age, I've read more of dystopic novels. I just finished Monument 14 by Emmy Laybourne. Unfortunately, I don't have it on me right now because it's one of those very few books that I don't actually buy, so I feel kind of bad. Although what I do have is a book that I literally look at and I say, if you haven't read this, I can't talk to you, which is the Maze Runner series. So there's 3 books right now. No, there's 4 books right now. There is a prequel, and then there's 3 books in the series. The first book is the Maze Runner itself. Basically, Thomas is stuck in a maze, dystopic. It's kind of after or during an apocalypse, and he is stuck in a maze with no memory of where he is, why he's there, and all he knows is his name. And as the storyline develops, you find out why he's there. You find out why he doesn't know. You find out the kind of person he is and the kind of person he used to be. But of course, then I can relate those to a book everyone's read, The Hunger Games. I think it's not a surprise everyone knows what The Hunger Games about. So I really read Monument 14, the Maze Runner series, which I am waiting for the next one. And James Dashner, if you do not release the next one, I will pull my hair out. But Maze Runner is good. Hunger Games, I actually liked Maze Runner more than The Hunger Games because it was more aimed at guys. Because parts of The Hunger Games it gets kind of girly, if you will. But Maze Runner has a good mix of. It's very heart-pounding adrenaline. It's a very, very good book. And then something that isn't as sci-fi dystopic novel is Ender's Game. And this is just the first book in the series. I think there's like 12 books, but there's not all of them are full-length books. A lot of them are short stories. It is a really, really complex storyline. It starts out very, very simple in the first book, and as the story progresses, unlike most books where everything make more sense, the more facts he gives you. One fact he gives you opens up 5 more questions. So it is an endlessly growing book that opens more and more questions as you go. Those are really the books I've read recently. The books that are on my to-read list are definitely Divergent. I have not read Divergent. And other books that I feel you should read. Back to Monument 14. Monument 14, which is probably the book, is relatively good. It is a dystopic novel, and it starts from the beginning of an apocalypse, and what is happening during the apocalypse is that people... If an apocalypse happened right now, you wouldn't be sitting in a bomb shelter waiting for it to happen. You would be kind of off guard. Definitely off guard. And these kids are driving to school on their bus, and I don't want to give it away. It's kind of a heart-pounding first chapter, but within the first 20 pages of the book, these kids are probably had one of the longest unfortunate events, series of unfortunate events, that's another book, that could ever happen to them. And it doesn't open many questions. I don't really see how they can make a next book to this, even though the ending made me want to fall down and cry. So, I'm gonna have to read it to figure it out. Okay, these are the books I've read recently. These are all of them, sorry. Here are them. This is the Maze Runner series. I started reading this last year, but I just finished The Killer, which is the prequel. These are really good books. These are all the ones I've really been hooked by. I've read other ones, but these ones that are related. Excluding Monument 14. These are pretty good. I suggest if you want to read The Maze Runner, setting aside some time for yourself and being less social, because you can't be. You're going to be sitting inside reading, because you're not able to pull yourself away from this book. You're going to be drawn into the entire series. Monument 14, less exhilarating, but I would definitely... This Maze Runner hooked me the most. Hunger Games, everyone's with the Hunger Games. And then Ender's Game is... That didn't happen. Ender's Game is less exhilarating, less intensifying, but it has a more complex plot. So if you really want to think about a book, I'm not saying like mind games kind of thing. I'm saying like making personal connections to the book and making a lot of things. This is definitely the book to read. I love them all. Other books to read that I've read recently, I reread When You Reach Me. Loved it again. I know it's kind of a bit young for me. I also read Abundance of Catherines, and I am going to go for Looking for Alaska. I know I'm going to turn into a girl if I keep reading those kind of books, but they're interesting. Alright. thank you guys. These are the books I suggest reading them. Read them if you can. Can't read, don't read them. Okay? Thanks. Peace.